The activities you choose, the way you move your body, the lifestyle decisions you make today determine whether your bones will support you at 80 or betray you at 65. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. But this isn't inevitable. Your bones respond to how you treat them. Most people think bones are like rocks, solid and unchanging. But they're living tissue that's constantly under renovation. Inside your bones, you have 2 types of workers. The first type are called osteoclasts. Think of them as the demolition crew that breaks down old bone tissue. The second type are called osteoblasts. Think of them as the construction crew that builds new bone tissue. When you're young, under about age 30, the construction crew works faster than the demolition crew. You're building more bone than you're losing. This is why your peak bone mass happens around age 25 to 30. But after age 30, and especially after age 50, something changes. The demolition crew starts working faster than the construction crew. You're breaking down bone faster than you're building it back up. This is normal aging, but the rate at which this happens makes all the difference. Some people lose bones slowly and maintain strong bones well into their 80s and 90s. Other people lose bone quickly and develop fragile bones by their 60s. And here's what's fascinating. The main difference often comes down to how much they move. Here's something that will change how you think about exercise. Something critical. Your bones respond to stress. When you put stress on your bones through weight-bearing exercise, your bones sense that stress and respond by building more bone tissue to handle it. It's exactly like how your muscles get stronger when you lift weights. Your bones work the same way. The demolition and construction crews are always listening to the signals your bones send. And weight-bearing exercise sends a loud, clear signal that says, "We need to be stronger here." This isn't theory. This is proven science. Research in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research studied 100 postmenopausal women for 2 years. Half did weight-bearing exercise, like walking and light strength training for 30 minutes 4 times per week. The other half remained sedentary. After 2 years, the exercise group maintained their bone density or even increased it slightly, while the sedentary group lost an average of 2 to 3% of their bone density. That might not sound like much, but over 10 years, that compounds to 20 to 30% bone loss, which is the difference between healthy bones and osteoporosis. Weight-bearing exercise means any activity where your bones and muscles work against gravity, where you're supporting your own body weight. Walking is weight-bearing. Running is weight-bearing. Dancing is weight-bearing. Climbing stairs is weight-bearing. Lifting weights is weight-bearing. But swimming is not weight-bearing because the water supports you. And cycling is not weight-bearing because the bike supports you. Swimming and cycling are excellent for your heart, your joints, and your overall fitness, but they don't build bone density. If you love swimming or cycling, keep doing them, but add weight-bearing activities for your bones. The best exercises for bone health combine impact and resistance. Walking is good, but brisk walking, where you're moving faster and putting more force through your legs, is better. The impact of your foot hitting the ground sends signals to your leg and hip bones to strengthen. Jogging is even better if your joints can handle it. But many people over 50 find jogging too hard on their knees, so don't force it if it causes pain. Dancing is excellent for bones because it involves impact, quick direction changes, and balance, all of which stimulate bone building. The variety of movements works bones from multiple angles. Plus, dancing is fun. which means you're more likely to stick with it long term. And consistency is what matters for bone health. Stair climbing is wonderful because it puts significant load through your hip and spine bones. Every time you step up, you're loading those bones with force, and they respond by getting stronger. If you have stairs in your home, use them multiple times a day instead of minimizing trips up and down. You need to do weight-bearing exercise at least 3 to 4 times per week, and ideally every day for 30 to 45 minutes. If you can't do 30 minutes at once, break it into smaller chunks, like 3 10-minute walks throughout the day. Your bones still get the signal. The key is consistency over months and years. You can't exercise intensely for 2 weeks and expect your bones to transform. Bone remodeling is a slow process that takes months to show changes, but those changes are real and lasting. Here's something most people don't realize. Regular, everyday activity, in most cases, can be excellent for keeping bones strong. You don't need to spend hours at the gym or follow complicated workout programs. Sometimes, minor changes in how you do routine tasks can make a huge difference for your bones. Let me give you some examples. When you need to pick something up from the floor, instead of bending your back, which is no good for your spine, try to squat down. Squatting loads your hip bones and leg bones, sending them the signal to stay strong. Every time you squat down and stand back up, you're doing a bone-building exercise. If you pick things up from the floor 5 or 10 times a day using a squat instead of a bend, that's 5 or 10 bone-building repetitions you weren't getting before. When you're doing laundry, instead of sliding the basket across the floor, lift it and carry it. When you're talking on the phone, stand up and walk around instead of sitting. When you're watching TV during commercials, stand up and do some squats or march in place. The point is to turn your everyday routine into exercise through tiny modifications and additions. Your bones don't know the difference between a formal squat at the gym and squatting to pick up something from the floor. They just respond to the load and the movement. And these small daily activities add up to hundreds of bone-building signals per week. Now, here's something critical about making changes to help your bones. Add things to your routine one by one and give yourself time to adapt. If you suddenly jump into all the changes at once, doing formal exercise, modifying every daily activity, changing your diet, and trying to do everything perfectly, you will just increase the stress for yourself and your body. And what happens? You burn out in a few weeks and quit everything. This is exactly like most people starting to go to the gym on January 1st every year. They're full of motivation. They go 5 or 6 times in the first week, they're sore and exhausted, and by February, they've quit. Research on exercise adherence shows this pattern clearly. Studies tracking people who start new exercise programs find that about 50% quit within the first 3 months, and another 30% over the next 3 months. Thus, after half a year, only 20% remains. This is just one of the 5. But here's what's interesting. People who start gradually and build up slowly have much better adherence rates. Research in the Journal of Physical Activity and Health found that people who started gradually had 73% adherence over 3 months. So start small. In week 1, maybe you just add a 10-minute walk 3 times per week. That's it. Nothing else changes. Get comfortable with that for 2 weeks. Then in week 3, increase to 15-minute walks, or add one simple modification to your daily routine, like squatting to pick things up instead of bending. Get comfortable with that. Build gradually, layer by layer, until after a few months, you've built a comprehensive bone-healthy lifestyle without ever feeling overwhelmed. This approach works because your body and your mind both need time to adapt. Your muscles need time to get stronger, so exercise doesn't exhaust you. Your schedule needs time to accommodate new habits. Your motivation needs small wins to stay high. Gradual change is sustainable change. Beyond formal exercise, your overall activity level throughout the day matters enormously for bone health. If you exercise for 30 minutes in the morning, but then sit for the remaining 15 hours you're awake, your bones aren't getting enough signals. Think about it. Your bones evolved to support a human who walked, climbed, lifted, and moved constantly throughout the day. Modern life, with cars, elevators, and desk jobs, means we move far less than our bones expect. Make an effort to move more throughout the day. Take the stairs instead of the elevator whenever you feel okay doing so. Do some of your phone calls standing or pacing. Gardening, housework, and yard work all count as activity that loads your bones. Carrying groceries, lifting laundry baskets, all of these send signals to your bones. Smoking is terrible for bones. It interferes with the cells that build new bone, reduces blood flow to bone tissue, and decreases calcium absorption. If you smoke, quitting is one of the best things you can do for your bone health. Studies show that bone loss slows within months of quitting, and over several years, former smokers' bone health approaches that of people who never smoked. Excessive alcohol, more than 2 drinks per day regularly, interferes with bone health by disrupting the balance between bone breakdown and bone building. It also increases fall risk through effects on balance and coordination. If you drink alcohol, keep it moderate. Maintaining a healthy body weight matters for bones, but in a complex way. Being significantly underweight is bad for bones because you have less mechanical load on your bones, less estrogen production from fat tissue, and often inadequate nutrition. But being obese is also problematic, despite the extra load, because obesity is associated with inflammation that can accelerate bone loss, and the extra weight increases fall risk and fracture severity. Aim for a healthy weight in the normal BMI range, not underweight and not significantly overweight. Getting adequate sleep supports bone health. Growth hormone, which helps with bone building, is released primarily during deep sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation may interfere with bone remodeling. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Managing chronic stress is important because chronic high cortisol levels from stress can accelerate bone loss. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, yoga, or any activity that helps you manage stress can indirectly benefit your bones. Let me summarize what we've covered in this first part. Your bones are alive and respond to the signals you send them through movement. Weight-bearing exercise like walking, dancing, and stair climbing sends powerful signals to build bone density. Turn your daily activities into bone-building exercise through simple modifications like squatting instead of bending, carrying loads, and standing instead of sitting. Start gradually with 1 or 2 changes and build up slowly over months. This approach prevents burnout and creates lasting habits that research shows you'll actually maintain long-term. Lifestyle factors like not smoking, moderate alcohol, healthy weight, good sleep, and stress management all support bone health. Your bones respond to how you treat them. Challenge them with weight-bearing movement throughout your day. Build gradually to avoid burnout, and stay consistent over months and years. In the next part, we'll cover strength training and balance exercises, which are just as important for keeping your bones strong and preventing the falls that lead to fractures. The question remains, Are you ready to send your bones the right signals?